Welcome back to Publicly Buzzed. Thank you for joining me. Got a completely different story today. Bryan Kohberger actually helped save a life. Yes, you heard that right. Helped save a life in 2018, and I got the story for you right here. Let's jump right into it. Pocono record, life in his hands. Security guard's quick thinking saves life of PV hall monitor. Now, Bryan Kohberger is called out in this story. This is a very interesting story, again, from 2018. It was late in the morning on Saturday, December 1st, when Pleasant Valley School District monitor Kathleen Piccolo felt something was wrong. When patrolling the hallways of the high school, she was having trouble breathing. It was quickly getting worse. Thanks to the presence and quick action of security guard Luis Fuentes and his fellow co-workers, Piccolo was able to survive a medical emergency that could have led to a disaster. She was doing her rounds walking around the school, and out of nowhere she started screaming out my name. "Luis, come help me. Luis, come help me." I found her in the hallway and she couldn't breathe correctly. Piccolo asked Fuentes to retrieve her asthma pump from her coat in the main office, but he was wary to leave her alone. When his fellow coworkers arrived on the scene, he dashed to the office, but when he returned, it appeared that the situation had escalated. The athletic director, Jake Percy, and one of my fellow coworkers, Bryan Kohberger, they came, so I started running to get the asthma pump. By the time I came back, it was like seconds. She was purple. I was trying to get her attention. Kathleen, wake up, but nothing. Percy called 911 while Fuentes told Kohberger to retrieve the school's AED unit. And Fuentes went to work performing CPR. The situation was intense, and Fuentes knew that a life was literally in his hands, but he kept his cool and focused. "I was calm," he said. "I was screaming for help. That I did, but the adrenaline was going fast. I know her background, and she just became a grandma. So I just could not let her die. I couldn't let her die." It was then that Fuentes saw registered nurse Lisa Favita and her husband, Justin, coming down the hall. I saw her and called Lisa. Lisa came running down the hallway. So then we're all working together as a team. Kohberger returned with the AED just as emergency personnel arrived on scene. Piccolo was examined in the ambulance before being taken to St. Luke's Monroe campus for further treatment. She was going to be okay. Thank God I spoke to her the same day. No broken ribs, because you know when you usually do CPR, you break ribs. Everything was perfect. What was supposed to happen by the grace of God happened that way. Fuentes credits his CPR training from the Red Cross for allowing him to act in a cool and calm manner, and while he acknowledges the usefulness of AED machines, he believes that knowing how and when to utilize CPR is an absolute necessity. I like to have the AED machines here. Everybody needs to learn CPR. I thought I was never going to use it. Been here for 11 years, and this is the first time I've saved somebody's life. That because of the swift and personal actions of Officer Fuentes, quickly evaluating and controlling the scene and rendering medical aid to Miss Piccolo by performing CPR, Miss Piccolo received the aid necessary and potentially saving her life. Yeah, this is a wild story, and again, actually implicates, he was a side character in this story, but was there to help render aid for a dying lady who could not breathe, who had asthma. And again, this man was the true hero in the story, but again, involves, who do we know now? Bryan Kohberger, who is being charged currently with the 4 murders in Idaho. In June, he goes to trial for the 4 murders allegedly committed in Idaho on November the 13th of 2022. So yeah, interesting, different kind of story. You don't see Bryan Kohberger in Saved Life next to his name often or at all. So completely different story. And again, I wanted to give credit where credit was due. I found this first. This was mentioned the first time I seen it by Ken Thomas at Cat Can Do on Twitter. So yeah. Hey, like this video, guys. That really helps me out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit the 3 little dots on the side. Make sure all notifications are turned on for future drops just like this one. And I really appreciate it. Thank you all.